Hello guys and welcome back to my channel. My name is Lucia and this is Lulu's Leaves.
Flying high like the birds and the bees and the fill the sky with the songs and the trees.
Today I wanted to talk to you guys all about terrariums and the few terrariums that I have in my collection. And I also want to go through and show you guys how to make your own little mini terrarium. I posted over on my Instagram a photo of my new Begonia terrarium and I asked if you guys wanted to see a video about it. So that is this video. I really hope that you guys enjoy it today. If you aren't already subscribed, please hit that button down below so that you don't miss out on any of my videos. And if you enjoyed today's video, you can also give it a huge thumbs up down below. It really helps me out. And leave a comment as well if you'd like, as any engagement really does help me out. With that being said though guys, let's get straight on into today's video. Alright guys, so I'm going to give you a little tour of my terrariums because I do have quite a few going on right now. So I thought it would be a great time to show you guys around because I definitely missed out on this terrarium during my little plant tour and yeah, I don't want to keep you guys in the dark. So I'm gonna go around and show you guys what I have. So the first terrarium here is one from Newity. You guys saw it probably in one of my previous videos. This right now is just housing some odd cuttings. They are super duper cute though. I have some Hoya Hushkeliana variegata. I also have Hoya serpens, which wasn't doing well anywhere else but in here, and now it is putting out new growth, which is very exciting. I also have Hoya lacunosa silver Eskimo, and I have Hoya croniana in here. Although I don't know if I'm IDing those correctly because those two look very similar, but one is just splashed and the other is not. So they may both be croniana. That's kind of what I'm leaning towards. But they are very happy in this terrarium. They are putting out some serious roots, and soon they're all going to have to continue to live in here forever, but I'm actually kind of okay with that because I think they look adorable. You let me know what you think, but I think they look so cute. And if we move on to my orchid terrarium, this one is quite dirty, I am sorry. But we have this little guy that is not doing super well. I've never really known how to properly take care of it, which is my fault, but it's been pretty difficult. I imagine it's not a beginner orchid. That is the name of it right there. Sorry, it's really faded now, but hopefully it's not completely dead. I'm going to try to continue to take care of it, but I don't think it's doing the best. It might be dead. But yeah, that guy is in there. I just kind of keep it on the ground for a little bit of extra humidity. And then we have here my Vanda falcata. This one has the most beautiful blooms that I cannot wait to see in the future. It has suffered a little bit of spider mites, as have everything in this terrarium. So it did lose a leaf or two on the bottom here, but it is looking okay. The white that you're seeing is actually just hard water because I do spray these guys in the terrarium every once in a while. I bet you, now that I'm thinking of it, that those leaves rotted off because of my spraying, so I have held back on that. But I'm very excited. I'm really hoping that this guy blooms one day for me. I can see another little shoot going on right there. So yeah, I don't think this is anywhere near blooming size yet, but it's very beautiful still, and I can't wait. Next up, we have my variegated vanilla orchid, which is so beautiful, and I got this from my friend Brooke. All of these guys need a little bit of a watering right now, but These cuttings were unrooted or slightly rooted with like aerial roots, but now they are rooted and doing well. These guys root so easily. So if you have one of these yourself, don't be scared to cut it up and propagate because they are very easy to root. Yeah, and if you guys didn't know, these guys actually produce vanilla beans, I'm pretty sure, which is super cool. This guy is doing okay. It's putting out a new shoot, so that is the saving grace, but it did have 2 other leaves on this little bulb here, and they kind of rotted away. I think that might be because it's putting out a new shoot. It just took the energy from those guys. So I don't think I have anything to worry about, but I actually forget the name of this orchid. This is also from Brooke. If I find the name, I will insert it on the screen, but I'm doubtful that I will. But yeah, this guy is super beautiful. The blooms on this one are also very nice. I'm not a crazy fan of the grassier types of orchids, but I am a fan of the beautiful blooms. So hopefully one day they do bloom for me. So this next terrarium is actually a sneak peek of what we're going to be doing later on in this video, so stay tuned for that. And then you guys also saw this terrarium recently. This is another Newity terrarium. By the way, this terrarium, the triangle one, is from a local grocery store, so you probably won't be able to find it unless it's a fluke, but I'm sorry, I don't have a link for that one. But here is my terrarium with my jewel orchids. I have Macody's, I think Sandurina or maybe Patola, I'm not 100% sure. And then I have this guy that I have no idea what it's called. Jewel orchids are so funny. There's so many different combinations of them. And then my Monstera Dubaia back there is just dying off. I really don't know what happened to it. It does not have pests. I've checked it over a million times for pests, so I don't have an answer as to what's going on there, but it's too bad. I mean, it wasn't my favorite plant, so I'm not heartbroken, but it still sucks. And then we have some of my little babies, the butterwort babies in there. They're doing really well, and yeah, I hope they catch any fungus gnats if they start breeding in here. So yeah, there's 3 of them. There's one hiding underneath the jewel orchid there. But I love the look of this terrarium, and I'm so excited to watch it flourish. The plants are definitely doing better in here than they were anywhere else, so that is really reassuring, other than the Dubaia. X-nay that one. I love this feature on this one. You can kind of air it out if you want to. And then this terrarium back here is kind of the star of the show. It looks so much better at night with the light on it because I'm not getting great light right now, but I'll try to go overhead and see if we can get a better shot. All right, yeah, so this isn't great, but you guys will get the idea. These are my begonias in here. I started this beautiful begonia terrarium, and it is looking so beautiful. I'm so obsessed with it, but I will go through and show you guys each of the begonias. I'm not sure of the name of this one. These guys actually came from Russia, so I actually don't have an ID for this one. This one here, I believe, might be the looking glass thing, but I actually doubt it because it doesn't have that same transparency, but it is so beautiful. Both of these were given to me by Lori at Secret Garden. She was so sweet and gifted me them for my terrarium and for this video. So definitely go check out Secret Garden for your begonias. And I also bought this one from her. This is the Begonia Baby's Dress, and it's honestly one of my favorite begonias. I know it's actually common, but it is so pretty, and I don't care what any of the begonia snobs want to say about me. I love it. I'm just joking. Anyways, let's move on. This is my begonia cathedral windows in the middle there. It is so stunning, especially when you see light coming through the back of it. I'm not sure if you guys can see why it's called the cathedral windows, but you should definitely look it up online if you haven't seen them already, as they are freaking incredible. It's a freak of nature. And then here, hiding half in the shade, half in the sun, is my Begonia Passing Storm. This one has a purpley iridescent hue and kind of a green base. And these are its little bebés. Maybe you can see them a little bit better. But this one is super beautiful, and I'm hoping that it will just flourish in here. But we will have to see. I haven't had these in here for long at all, so I don't know how they're going to react, but we'll see. And then the final begonia that is in here is this beautiful Begonia Marmaduke. And Ashley from Plant Me Ashley helped me pick this one out. I was struggling to pick my favorite begonia of the bunch that were available, and yeah, I definitely needed this one. Yeah, actually, now that I think of it, all of these begonias are from Secret Garden. They do have a really nice selection. I wouldn't say they're rare begonias, but there are lots of really cool ones that I've never seen before, so that's awesome. So yeah, this is another view from the outside. Sorry, the glass looks disgusting, but that's just because of the sun. It's actually pretty clean. But yeah, those are my terrariums, guys. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this little tour of all of my terrariums. And now if you want to go and make one for yourself, definitely check out the rest of this video as I show you how to make this simple little guy for yourself. Now I want to show you guys how to make a terrarium of your own. I'm going to be showing you guys how to make a terrarium out of household items, because you definitely don't need to buy your own terrarium just to have one. You can use jars just like this one for your terrariums, especially if you're just doing a single plant. These can be really, really nice for showcasing begonias or other individual plants that like a little bit of extra humidity. So today I'm going to be putting my butterwort into this little terrarium. I'm going to be keeping it in moss. There are so many different substrates that you can use in your terrariums, so definitely don't take this as the only way to make a terrarium, but I do like to keep this guy in moss as it is easier to keep the soil or the medium more moist at all times, which this guy really does like. So the first thing that you do want to do is grab yourself a little jar like this, or a terrarium that you have already, and we want to make sure that these guys have proper drainage, because that is a big issue with terrariums. They aren't like our nursery pots where they have drainage holes. So we have to create a sort of fake drainage. And I like to do that using either perlite or leca. If I'm using soil, I definitely like to use leca, as the balls are a little bit larger and it just creates more separation. Where for something like sphagnum moss, I do like to use perlite or pumice. This here is actually pumice, so I'm going to go ahead and pour that in here and see if I need any more. I don't have all the fancy tools, so I'm going to be using the end of a makeup brush to kind of move that around. For this specific plant, I do think that this is enough drainage, because this plant does like to stay a little bit more moist. But if it's a plant that likes to stay a little bit more dry in terms of the soil, I would definitely recommend adding an extra layer so that you never have wet feet. So the next step for my specific terrarium is to add a little bit of sphagnum moss. I'm going to add a base layer, and then I'm going to add the plant in, and then I'm going to add a little bit more. So that's kind of where I'm going with this. So I'm going ahead with the sphagnum moss now. And I'll get my little handy dandy tool in there to squish it down a bit. So I think that that's a good base layer. I'm going to go ahead and unpot my plant so that we can just stick her in there and be done. So this is the little guy right now. I just think that this terrarium is going to make it 10 times easier to keep this guy moist because that is a struggle. And I'm not going to throw out all of this moss because these guys have extremely delicate root systems. So I don't even want to tear this up at all. I just want to leave the roots intact and just kind of plop it in there. So I'm hoping that I can kind of strategically plop this in there, but I don't think that's how this is going to go. And just so you know, I may have to smash this jar to get this plant out in the future. But that's how she goes. So in the middle of this, I realized that I have eyelash applicators, so that's gonna be a little bit easier. If you guys are young like me, you may remember the episode of Sweet Life of Zach and Cody, or Sweet Life on Deck, where Kirby is trying to fix the sailboat in the little bottle. That's what I feel like right now. My goal right now is really just to make this look pleasing from the front. Alright, so I think that looks okay. I'm going to go ahead and add a tiny bit more sphagnum moss around the plant just to kind of keep it snug in there. Well guys, that is basically it for fixing up this terrarium. It really doesn't take much at all, and the maintenance is very, very simple in my opinion. Sometimes you will see mold if it's a plant that is a little bit more susceptible to mold, but I don't see that happening with this guy here. I'm also going to be keeping the top of this open for airflow because we definitely don't want to close this in completely and have a sad, unhappy plant. So yeah, I will do a little close-up of this guy for you because I know there is glare on this, so hopefully you guys can see it a little bit better once I do that. But the final step is basically just to water everything in. I like to use spray bottles for my terrariums. I don't like to water them with a full-on watering can unless it's a bigger terrarium. But this guy is just going to get a spray. This sphagnum moss was already a little bit damp prior to me putting it in, so yeah, we're just going to make this terrarium suitable with this extra little humidity. I'm super happy with that. I hope that if you guys followed along at home that you're also happy with your little terrariums. If you did make one, please make sure to tag me on Instagram and show it off because I would absolutely love to see your little mini terrariums. That is going to be it for me though, guys. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope you guys enjoyed following me along through the terrarium tours and also making our own little terrariums. If you guys did enjoy this video, please make sure to leave a thumbs up down below. And if you enjoy my content and want to see more from me, you can also click the subscribe button so that you get notified every single time I post a video, but be sure to click that bell as well. With that being said though, guys, thank you so much for watching this video, and I cannot wait to see you in the next one. Bye guys!